Oops. GGL. Gonna start in a second. Sound should be up and everything. Alright. Okay. Alright guys, welcome back to the WCS Challenger League Qualifier. We are currently looking at the game between Lallapalooza and Dragon, and this is game... It's set to be game 3, but they actually hosted the map for game 2, so I actually think this is the second game that he's playing. He just lost on Daybreak, so yeah, he must be down one map, so this is game number 2, not game 3 as we originally thought in this Terran versus Terran. Dragon starting to the top left in blue, and his opponent starting at the bottom left with an barcode ID, but his ID is Lallapalooza. So once again, this is the second game in the best of 3 at the WCS Challenger League Qualifier. And I'm here with Wolf, of course, casting this Terran versus Terran.
Yep. See if Dragon can push his luck and get game number 2, tie things up. Big fan favorite versus relatively unknown Lallapalooza barcode player who is in Grandmasters on Korea.
Yep, I heard his name before. I actually think I casted a game of him in the past, but I can't remember when exactly that was. But as it is, he took the game on Daybreak against his opponent. So we have the barracks here first for Dragon, whereas on the other hand, to the bottom left, Lallapalooza actually starts with the refinery first right into the game.
Yep, refinery first, and there goes the barracks. So he's got some sort of tech build planned. Probably Banshees, but with the new expansion there's a lot of different builds. Fast Reapers, multiple Reapers coming out, we've seen that. We've seen Widowmine drops most commonly. But Banshees are still very usable and very workable.
Yep, definitely. You can still start with the Banshee build order here if you want. We have gas now coming up for Dragon at this point. This is, as mentioned, game number 2. With the build order or the map order in this best of 3 at the qualifier is always the same. We start things off with Daybreak, we are heading into Whirlwind, and if there has to be a deciding map, it is always Belcher Vestige. So unless there was a problem with them hosting the wrong map at the beginning, this is game 2 between the two of them, and Dragon is currently down one map. He just lost on Daybreak, and they just hosted this game, so we were able to jump into this map. Let's see if he can actually force Lallapalooza to go into a third game, or if Dragon is now losing in, I believe it's the second or the third round of the qualifier against his Terran opponent. As already mentioned, we have a gas first for the Terran player at the bottom left. In red, he's going straight into the factory. Dragon, on the other hand, he's trying to scout where Lallapalooza is starting, and he's actually a little bit unlucky. He is scouting the top right first, whereas his opponent spawns at the bottom left, so it's going to take a long time for him to find out where his opponent spawns, and he will most likely not get a lot of scouting information with this SCV.
Nope, not a lot at all. He would have liked to see the gas first. If, for example, Lallapalooza had been a top right, the SCV would have gotten in and seen everything. But as it stands now, the Marines should be able to deny the SCV scout, especially because Dragon is checking the bottom right as well. And we'll see what Lallapalooza has planned. He's getting the starport, and there's the Widowmine, so it looks like we're going to see that Widowmine drop we talked about.
Widowmine drops can be really deadly. Dragon has to be very careful here, and at this point he still has no clue what's happening. Lallapalooza, on the other hand, gets quite lucky with his scouting pattern, moves to the top left first, so he knows immediately where Dragon spawns, but on the other hand will most likely lose the Marine. Oh wow, that was a Marine blast. Slithers down the ramp in his own blood.
That was terrible.
Yeah, poor Marine. Probably had a family, kids, wife.
You know, at the very least, you know, he had his own personality.
I think so. I mean, he dresses exactly like all the other Marines, but I think he probably has his own personality. You're certainly right about that.
Dragon may have seen that Widowmine. It's a possibility. It was only depends on whether he was paying attention or if he just microed on the minimap when the SCV took damage.
He at least has a supply depot up here so that he can see the drop early on. But yeah, the Marines, they have to move a little bit further back. The one thing that Dragon doesn't have is an expansion. Dragon is actually going into a Raven, which is really good against the Widowmine. So as soon as he has the detection here, he's going to be completely fine against the Widowmines unless he messes up horribly.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he defends this well, if he's going to go for a counter push afterwards, because he doesn't have a command center. He has that Tech Lab for siege tanks on his factory, and it looks like we're just going to see a one-base siege tank push out of Dragon following this up. Meanwhile, Cloak is the follow-up for Lallapalooza, and here comes that drop.
Yeah, the Raven on the other hand is already building, so Cloak won't do Lallapalooza a lot of good. Here comes the Medivac right into the main base. The first Widow Mine is already there. Cannot be taken out before it's done. Only one Marine killed though. Where's the second Widow Mine? Already burrowed here, but 0 kills, gets 2 SCVs. Where is that Raven? Here we go. And the Raven, of course, putting an end to the aggression. Both Widow Mines are taken out, and only 1 Marine survived. Great defense here.
Yep, and Lallapalooza instantly cancels Cloak because he knows, okay, well, this is not going to work out. Cannot actually get away with that if he has the Raven out. He goes double CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Lallapalooza is a Grandmaster's level player, but his transition here seems a little bit rough.
It's a little bit of a rough transition, but it's basically him saying, you know what, I realize your defense is too good. I won't be able to do anything here, so I might as well just go into a macro game, try to gamble a little bit that you are playing a bit more cautious, and if I take this risk and you don't punish me for it, I will have a huge lead in the game.
Yeah, very true. And here comes the Time Bishop Dragon. He's just going to go for that one base attack, and I don't know if Lallapalooza can hold this with 2 Commanders in the main.
Yeah, that's the problem that Lallapalooza really has here. That we have Dragon with a very aggressive strategy right now, moving out as soon as he deals with the drop play of his opponent. So these 2 command centers here really become a liability.
Yep. He's got a siege tank out for defense. That's his backbone. If he loses that and his next siege tank, then the game will end, and he's actually moving down with it. This is a mistake. He doesn't realize it, though, because he doesn't have scouting information. He's got 2 bunkers about to finish, but they're not ready yet.
Both of them are sieging up. The siege tanks firing at each other. Well, not quite, because this one is outside of the vision range. The Raven is still going strong here. Could put down a point defense drone.
Or an auto turret.
Need to do it at this point, but the siege tank is already down for Dragon, but he's still ahead in supply, and he's putting a lot of aggression on this defense.
I'd like to see him either do a Seeker Missile on that siege tank or an auto turret right next to it so he can push up the ramp. He has that Raven, and its energy shouldn't be wasted.
Yeah. So Dragon now up against 2 siege tanks on the high ground. Where's the Seeker Missile? The Raven not doing anything. 44 hit points. Another shot, and it's going to be taken out. There's no SCV to repair the Raven. It's basically useless at this point.
He needs to use it. What is he doing? 8 hit points left.
Yeah, he really needs to do something with it. And if it's only like moving back, has to drop point defense drone to be a little bit safe against the Viking shots of his opponent. But it really looks like, for now, Lallapalooza is in a position where he can at least hold this huge ramp.
Yeah, the longer this takes, the worse it is for Dragon.
Oh yeah,
has a very late command center, just now started.
The Raven taken out, Dragon not paying attention to the Raven, and now suddenly Lallapalooza darts in, takes out the Raven. The container for Dragon is good, and he's still way ahead in supply. The problem is really that Lallapalooza has now 3 CCs, and time is working in his favor.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of mining repairing this bunker. The bunker actually will fall, I think, to 2 more shots, because the SCVs are going to die as well. Yep.
But there are 3 siege tanks on the high ground now for Lallapalooza. Dragon, on the other hand, has 3 tanks on his own, but this is still dangerous. He's moving up the ramp. I actually can't believe that he did that.
That was a mistake. It was definitely a misclick. It had to be.
I actually think that the siege tank that moved forward was attacked, and that triggered the Marines to attack. They were not on hold position. This was not a conscious attack.
Yeah, Dragon making a few mistakes here. He sends his units back home. He knows that he can't actually continue the attack, but he's behind in economy. And Stim is on the way.
Already in favor of Lallapalooza. He has the 3rd command center. He has the extra mules. This one mistake of not putting the Marines on hold position really cost him the entire momentum that he had in this game. The siege tank that he moved forward was attacked. The Marines were nearby, and therefore they immediately went to defend the siege tank, moved forward into the range of his opponent's tanks, and were completely taken out.
Yeah, this is
not looking good.
It's not looking good. It's just going to get worse unless Dragon is able to have a successful drop, for example, and turn things around. He's got a Viking scouting around here to see if he can spout one of Lallapalooza's drops. This is an interesting situation.
Yeah, 1 Marine against a Viking. Even Chuck Norris could probably not have taken out this one.
Yeah, but you know what? That was actually an interesting choice, because I would have expected he just want to save the hit points on the Viking more, but he decides to kill a Marine instead.
Dragon has to move back with his Viking because a double Viking is trying to intercept him, but he will be able to escape here. Ooh! I say it, and then suddenly it's not the case. Dragon tries to go into assault mode. A little bit too late. If he would have done that before the first shot, he actually could have saved the Viking here.
Yeah, the thing is, if he lands, the Vikings just fly past him and then land and kill him anyways. I guess he was just desperate. Maybe he wanted to bait because of his 3 Vikings he has here, but
the SCV lead that we have now is 6 in total. We have Lallapalooza ahead in overall supply in just a few seconds, because he is still relying on his 3rd base, and now he's actually moving it over to saturate the mineral line here, and this is where he really gets ahead at economy.
Yeah, this is going to be a really shaky rest of the game for Dragon, but he's able to hit his macro really, really well, and he stays ahead in supply despite the fact that his opponent has a third commander, but it hasn't been saturated yet. And Lallapalooza needs to add more production to actually make up for his extra economy.
He does. APM-wise, Lallapalooza slightly ahead of his opponent. When you have a look at the unit composition and also at the army size, Dragon is still a little bit ahead of his opponent, but this will change very soon as we have a mule lead for Lallapalooza and also the SCV lead that we already talked about earlier. Upgrades are going to be really important now, and you can really see that we have Lallapalooza already on +1, on stim, and he's heading into the armor upgrade.
Yeah, Dragon will have both those upgrades fairly soon, but he does not have the infantry upgrades. That's what he's missing. He hasn't started the armor. He's on the way, so he's going to be able to start 2-2 if he gets that second eBay out. And Lallapalooza is starting to put a little bit of pressure on. He wants to make sure Dragon can't secure a third command center.
Yeah. Dragon is now in a position where he knows that his opponent has a very, very strong army. Lallapalooza is now posturing around in the middle of the map while taking his own third base. We have him already with the 2 refineries here, so a great income for him. And he's just waiting for his upgrades to finish. He should at least wait for the stim. Sorry, for the combat shield.
Yeah. He's actually going to try to go for a drop here, but those 3 Vikings may cause a problem. If he boosts the right angle, with the center tower now, it's definitely not going to happen.
With the sensor tower, he knows exactly what's going on, and those Vikings, they could take out not only the drop, but all those 16 Marines and put Dragon in the lead.
Yeah, Dragon's still ahead in supply.
But he's so far behind upgrades. He's on 0-0 upgrades against 1-1. He does not have his combat shield even sorry, that is actually his opponent. Dragon has combat shield by now. He's on 0-0, that's the case, against 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see it visually, there you go.
Yeah. And +2/+2 is already on its way. So the upgrade lead that we have here for Lallapalooza is gigantic. And he has the third base saturated.
I have to say, though, he's not hitting his production as well as he could be. He should be able to heavily surpass Dragon in supply at this point. He hasn't even really lost any of his units.
Not really. The reason why he's not ahead in supply is that he invests more in the upgrades. He also has upgrades for siege tanks coming up. That's the only reason, because he's even in supply and he was actually keeping his money quite low.
Here we go. He's going to start using that upgrade advantage. Comes in here, takes out the sensor tower, bullies Dragon back down the ramp. Dragon is in trouble. He needs this win. If he loses, he's out of the tournament. This is the first round.
Exactly. At least the first round that they play. And there is still no third base for Dragon. He needs another base. The income is so much better for his opponent, as you can see here, especially in gas, but also in minerals. The Vikings now fighting against each other, and as soon as those upgrades hit, Dragon is even in more trouble than he already is.
Yeah, he's trying to hit the right angle here, boost into the main base. The Vikings miss it. The SVs have to be pulled. Dragon is in trouble. If he loses his armor, he can't get 2-2, and that's exactly what he targets.
Yeah. Targets down the armory. There won't be a 2-2 for a long time. Oh my god, he might actually be able to take down one of the engineering bases.
He didn't even cancel the armory, so he loses those resources as well. And he's just going to trade because he has the better upgrades.
At the right side, we have a huge attack here. Both of them sieging up, and Dragon is dropping in supply rapidly, whereas Lallapalooza might lose this force, but he still has the units in the main base going strong.
Yeah, the units in the main base are really crucial. That was not the best engagement for him on the right side, but he was busy microing in the main. He takes out this depot. That's a super depot. And he may even get the orbital if he targets it. Yeah, I think he will.
He's targeting it, and here come the reinforcements trying to prevent it, but it's already too late. The orbital is down. Suddenly, Dragon lost his main base command center, and this is really bad news for him. He's down in supply, he's down in upgrades. +3 attack has been started, whereas Dragon has only 1-1.
Yeah, this is
not looking good.
It's probably going to be game-ending that he's lost all of this, but he's got to keep up his production. Back at home, he's now adding additional factories. You can see his minerals are getting pretty high because he's so busy microing back at home, but that one engagement at the third base of Dragon where he crushed Lallapalooza's army while Lallapalooza was microing in the main base is the one thing that keeps Dragon at least alive in this game, but for how long, that's the question.
Yeah. The upgrades, 1-1 without an armory against 2-2, where +3 has been started. The siege tank upgrade advantage also goes to Lallapalooza. He is in a great position. Dragon hasn't even started his armory because he's now in a spot where he's really starving for money. He needs to get the command center back if he wants to have access to the gas over here. He wants the extra mules. A fourth base is now coming up for the red Terran player to the bottom left, and he is already going into the +2 attack upgrade for the siege tanks and +3 armor.
Yeah, he's got all the upgrades coming out. I mean, there's not much further way he could be ahead. He's pushing slowly with sensor towers across the map too, so he can't be caught unsieged. and he's just going to keep pushing until he's all the way at Dragon's third base, potentially, or one of his third bases where it would be, and he's going to probably just drop into the main base again and keep tank siege up on the edge. This is something that Dragon is preparing for. He's got a bunch of Marines in his main base now. You can see him on the mini-map.
Huge lead here for Lallapalooza, and here comes a drop on top of the siege tanks. There are no Marines nearby. Immediately he's unsieging, but the rest of the Marines runs down. The tanks all being taken out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. This is about it.
This is it. Dragon is going to lose here in the first round of the qualifiers, losing 2-0. And Lallapalooza, relatively unknown Grandmasters Terran player, will advance. GG.
No success today. Dragon loses the game and is now out of the tournament. Lallapalooza advances to the next round of the WCS Challenger League qualifier. Alright guys, so Dragon already out. I actually thought he was ahead in the series, up to the point where we saw the map, which was Whirlwind. I recorded him earlier with one of the first-hand thingies, so that will be at least a little bit of the content. For now, we are heading into a short break. We have to find out who is playing, who's still in the tournament, which round.